Everyone knows that you can turn on your torch by pressing the torch button, but no phone seems to tell you that by holding down, you can also adjust the brightness of it. When you're trying to get somewhere and you've got baggage in one hand and your Maps app in the other, instead of juggling, you can actually just double tap and then slide without taking your finger off the screen to look around the map with one hand only. If you want to hang up on someone, do it by turning on airplane mode. It'll look like you've lost signal and is far easier than trying to pretend, oh, hey, I can't hear you very well. Okay, bye. I'm going to try and give you 100 smartphone tricks in 15 minutes, going from beginner to pro to master. That's one tip every 9 seconds, or 8 seconds if I carry this intro on any longer. If you struggle to get up in the mornings, then the Alarmy app can be set to only turn off when you take a photo of a specific thing, like your cat.
Hello.
Or, with the Rise and Shine Smiling Alarm app, a nice pic of your smiling face. Already done 5. Let's make that 10 with 5 secret WhatsApp commands. If you really want to stress a certain word, then use an underscore before and after, and voila, it's italic and mildly aggressive. The latest update means that you can edit messages within 15 minutes after sending them. You can ask your voice assistant to read out your last WhatsApp message in case you can't use your phone right now. You can even set a custom tone to play when certain people message you, which I've only just set up last week, and it's a really good way of separating chats that you need to respond to straight away and ones that you can wait for. And ones that you're never getting back to. And probably the coolest WhatsApp trick is that you can create shortcuts to specific WhatsApp chats as their own icon on your home screen. Well, I'm actually doing pretty well for time so far. You can in one go delete all duplicate photos to save some storage, which is pretty handy if you keep re-downloading the same meme that you know you already have somewhere to send to every one of your contacts. Look at my memes.
It's too many.
You can also search for your unused apps in your storage settings and uninstall those. In Android contacts, left swipe a contact name to message them, right swipe to call them. You can long press on the spacebar on iOS and Android to scroll the cursor. Trust me, when you get used to this, it's a way faster way of navigating than fiddling with your massive fingers and trying to tap the exact spot you want. You can swipe to flick between your existing tabs in both Chrome and Safari. And if you want to open a completely new tab, just swipe again while you're on your latest tab. So that's the basics. This is where we step it up. Time for pro level. Turn your Wi-Fi details into a QR code that you can leave in your house, so no guest ever needs to ask you again for your password. Don't scan this one. And if you want to go even further, get yourself an NFC tag and use the NFC Tools app to make one swipe of it transfer across those Wi-Fi deets. If you wear headphones a lot and you worry you're going to miss someone at the door, use the accessibility, sound recognition, or sound notifications feature. It lets your phone listen out for any loud noises on your behalf and just notify you when it hears them. Instead of just setting dark mode on or off, set it to change with the time of day. Given how much time we spend on our phones, this can actually help you with your body's natural sleep-wake rhythm. You'll get lots of blue light during the day, which will keep you up, and then almost zero at night. Use text replacements for long things that you type often. This will mean that tiny little trigger words will be enough to enter the entire thing. You can take scrolling screenshots to capture an entire web page in one go. It's really simple. You just take the screenshot as you normally would, tap full page, and all that information is already there. With Google Assistant, enable continued conversations. It'll listen for a moment after every time it's responded to you, so you don't have to say the wake word every time. This is coming to Siri in the next update too. I like this one. On an iPhone, swipe down on the home screen, hold down the stopwatch panel to instantly set a timer without even opening the clock app. Tap your dial button to bring up the most recently dialed number. In Android's Google Chrome settings, you can change the toolbar shortcut to whichever command you use the most. So you could make this a quick share button if you're very socially active, or just a voice search button if you're more of a hands-off browser. You can shuffle your iPhone wallpaper so that you get a new one every single time you unlock your phone. I think this is a no-brainer. It's customization without you even needing to do the customization. You can set a double tap of the power key on Samsung or a double tap of the back of the phone on the iPhone to open your favorite app. Okay, if you don't feel pro already, then I think you will after these voice assistant tricks. If your hands are occupied, you can ask your assistant to open whatever app you want to. You can ask it to tell me some good news for when you're fed up of, well, Twitter. You can ask it to play whatever song you want while you're driving, which is pretty handy since it's one of the only times that you can't touch your phone. If you're tired or you're trying to reduce your screen time, have your assistant read articles aloud for you by using the speak screen command. In a way, it's kind of like having a personalized radio station that talks about what you want it to talk about. Kind of. Google Assistant and Siri can also both book you a table at a restaurant. They can find devices for you, and not just phones, like, hey, where's my iPad?
Looking for Boss Man's iPad Air 4.
Hey.
Pinging your iPad Air 4 now.
I found my iPad. Oh yeah, and assistants are perfect for shopping lists, because you can add stuff to the list the second it occurs to you, and then in one go when you reach the shops, pull up everything that you've ever told it to remember. On a similar note, you can also just ask them to remember this for me for non-shopping things. Remember this for me.
What do you want to be reminded about?
Milo's birthday's coming up.
Added.
When are you going to ask it? It's Milo's birthday coming up.
Not to mention that if you ever want to share whatever's on your screen with someone, you can just tell it to share this with that person. But there's more that we need to know before we can get to master level. For example, iOS Control Center has a quick note feature that lets you instantly compose a note without actually opening the Notes app. You can automatically block spam callers using iPhone's silence unknown calls or Android's Call ID and spam protection. But for info that you do want but just happen to miss, notification history is how you can catch up with all your recent notifications, which for me is 2. Instead of copy and pasting links or files between apps, you can actually just drag them, swipe to flick between the apps, and then drop them. Enable floating keyboard on Gboard to have just a more comfortable and accessible typing experience anywhere on screen. Tap on a unit of measurement to automatically convert it. It works on every app on iPhone and most apps on Android. If you hold down on the tabs button on your browser, this is the fastest way to either close tabs or open up a private browsing window. And this is super niche. Improve the audio of your phone by adapting the volume based on your age, and you can also increase the media volume limit if you want to go louder. It's set at 50% by default, so your phone can actually go quite a bit louder than you might assume. If you're having a particularly bad day, then on an iPhone, you can get 3 fingers involved, and with one swipe, close 3 separate apps. Add the Shazam music recognition toggle into your quick settings, so that the second you hear a song that you're like, I need that in my playlist, you can actually capture it. But something that all smartphone users need to take advantage of, tricks to save your battery. Like automatically activating power saving mode when your battery hits a certain percentage using your routines or shortcuts app. I've set mine to start every time my phone hits 20%. Or when you arrive or leave a specific location. So for example, when I'm at home and I've got chargers all around me, I can happily use the phone on full power, and then the second I leave, my phone will switch to just making sure that it lasts, by switching itself automatically to low power mode. Alternatively, you can just specifically limit the most power hungry features, like for example by switching off your smart assistant's active listening. Now if you, like me, listen to the exact same Spotify playlist every single time, you can save battery by downloading it once and then you don't need to stream it ever again. Just switching to dark mode alone can actually reduce your battery usage by up to 20%, and the higher you tend to keep your brightness at, the more you'll end up saving versus light mode. If you need to hear what's being said in any video, but at the same time you're in a library and you need to be quiet, you can activate live captions. And it works over any app, and it actually works particularly well on our videos. And if you're on iOS, another really handy accessibility option, a baked-in white noise machine. It doesn't require internet, you can use it on airplane mode, and it lets you fall asleep to all sorts of background noises, like rainfall or ocean waves. You can set your incoming call background to a video on Samsung devices. Okay, everyone wants shortcuts, and Android actually has a whole bunch baked in that they just don't even tell you about. So, normally, if you want to bring down your entire quick settings menu, you've got to do it in 2 separate swipes. But if you do the same gesture with 2 fingers instead of 1, it brings the whole thing down in one go. Or how you can slide the 3-dot menu button down on most Google apps to the desired option, instead of tapping it, then tapping the option that you want. Apple's got some time savers of their own though. One that gives them a real leg up is that iOS actually lets you display the password for the Wi-Fi network that you're currently connected to by just verifying with Face ID, since you already have access to it. You can tap a link in Safari with 2 fingers at the same time to open it in a new tab. Also, instead of interrupting your workflow every single time you get a notification, you can use iOS's notification summary feature to only show you the important ones for now and save the unimportant ones for a scheduled time later. And now, the last few before we ascend to tech mastery. Like how you can hold down on any app icon on your home screen for a list of time-saving quick options. I actually really enjoy seeing which shortcuts developers have programmed into which apps.
We're so cool.
So cool indeed. We have fun. If you want to be able to properly switch off every now and again, you can set your Galaxy or your Pixel phone to instantly go on Do Not Disturb as soon as you place them face down. And if you want to go full on with focus mode, create a routine that automatically activates it when you arrive at your workplace. You can even tie your arrival into other apps. Like for example, what my team does is make their phones launch straight into Google Docs when they get here. Oh, and if you're specifically using iPhone's focus modes, as of iOS 16, you can actually set specific lock screens for different focus modes, and they'll automatically change as you switch between them. Another thing that you might have missed from iOS 16 is that Nintendo Switch Joy-Con and Pro controllers are also now compatible. And you might also have missed this one, you'll be kicking yourself, but you can now take photos while shooting video. Okay, this one's really important. It's always worth setting up an emergency contact. Phones are now designed so that if something happens to you, a bystander can call that number without needing your password to unlock your phone. Like for me, I'm severely allergic to nuts, so if I ever had a reaction, then someone could use this to call someone to get me an EpiPen, for example. And if you ever find a lost iPhone, you can just ask Siri, whose phone is this? this. You can use your phone as a digital car key with certain vehicles via Google and Apple Wallet. And the benefit of that is that you can then remotely share that car key to any one of your contacts. Dial this code to access your phone's diagnostic test screen, where you can test that your phone's features like the display and the speakers are actually working correctly. If you send someone a flight number in iOS messages, you can directly with one tap keep track of the flight. So it's oftentimes quite useful just to send that flight number to yourself. If you accidentally dunk your phone in, there's a misleading amount of water in there. All you have to do is to go to fixmyspeakers.com and it'll clear them. Now, if you have something untoward on your cellular device that you don't want your friends or your family to experience, use screen pinning when you hand it over so they can't leave the app that they're currently in. Okay, enough playing around. It's time for the master tier. These magnetic multi-head chargers allow you to have every smartphone connector available on a single wire. So it doesn't actually matter what device your friends are using, you can always be the provider of charge. Use the Notify Buddy app to give your phone a makeshift notification LED by lighting up a small group of pixels with whatever color that you want to represent each one of your apps. You can set custom messages to send automatically when you decline a call. I had a bit too much fun with this one. Now, most people probably know that they can automate things on their phone using routines or shortcuts, but real tech masters use the If This, Then That app, or IFTTT. Here's some of my go-to automations on it. It can send a text to someone as you're approaching their house to say, I'm 10 minutes away. It can turn your lights on automatically as you step through your door. Add songs that you're liking on YouTube automatically into your playlist on Spotify. Mute your phone the minute you arrive at whatever you've set as your workplace. It can even log how long you spend in a specific location on a spreadsheet. For example, let's say you go to work and you want to count your work hours, or if you want to keep track of how long you're in the gym for. The second your phone connects to a Bluetooth device, automatically plays a specific playlist immediately. Wow. Or we can get better. If you add a Japanese keyboard onto your iPhone, you will also have access to a whole new menu of instant emoticons, which you can now paste to your heart's content in your private notes, which you can now lock away from your Android buddies behind Face ID. You might have seen my video where I tested the most viral TikTok tech hacks, which was really fun, by the way, go check it out. The one that really surprised me was that you can actually unlock your iPhone using your voice with a loophole in the accessibility settings. And speaking of both of those things, you can use your phone's accessibility voice command feature to map next to scroll TikToks. Or, if you're a person of culture, YouTube Shorts. FaceTime can fake eye contact for you, since most people naturally look at the screen and not the camera. If you tap the power button 5 times quickly, your iPhone will disable Face ID. So if someone's trying to hold your eyes open and force you to unlock it, they can't anymore. You can do calculations in the Spotlight search without needing to open up the calculator app. Oh, and speaking of, when you are using the calculator, you can swipe from right to left over the numbers to just delete a digit, so you don't have to hit clear and lose the entire thing. Apple Music has a karaoke function, and it's actually crazy. It gives you the lyrics of any song and then allows you to dial up and down the volume of the vocals only so that you can have as much or as little backup as you need. Wow, that was a lot of Apple ones. But Samsung also has quite a few master tier tips up its sleeve too, with the Galaxy exclusive Good Lock apps, which offer the kind of massive customization that you just can't get on an iPhone. Like the One-Handed Operation Plus app, which massively expands the gesture controls. You've got Routines Plus, which gives you even more if-then options in Bixby Routines, allowing you to do wacky stuff like immediately opening a specific website if you unlock the phone with your fingerprint. And then there's Register, which basically gives you the iPhone's back tap feature. Why are they not advertising this? Okay, moving on. Chalk is an incredibly useful app because it allows you to help your more technically challenged relatives through a fix by letting you host a video call where you can both draw chalk within augmented reality. So for example, you can circle this wire goes here, that wire goes there. When you're taking a panorama photo, you can create a human paper chain by having your subject T-pose and sidestep every time you've taken one of the shots.
Is that a master tip?
Of course it is. Bixby Vision, basically Samsung's own version of Google Lens, has a feature that reads a wine label and tells you exactly what food to pair it with, which is so advanced, but just very strange as one of the 4 main options of translate, text, discover, wine. iPhone 14s actually have a hidden Easter egg. You can set it to play a wake up or shut down jingle, just like the Mac. That's nice. And did you know you can actually get to the iPhone 14 Pro's Dynamic Island on Android using the Dynamic Bird app? Why is it called the Dynamic Bird app? But the most master trick on this entire list has got to be microgesture. Let's say your thumb is preoccupied. This app allows you to control your entire phone using, as the name suggests, microgestures. I've got one final life hack though to basically upgrade your entire life. Long story short, humans today have the worst quality sleep that we've had throughout the entire history of humanity. And, you know, this is something I personally relate to because I have been battling sleep my entire life. And so, about a year ago, I decided to get myself the 8 Sleep Pod cover, which fits over your mattress like a fitted sheet and connects to this hub. And this hub pumps warm or cool water through the cover to basically regulate your temperature as you sleep. So it means you can fall asleep faster, you can have more restful sleep, and you can wake up feeling more refreshed. Plus, I've learned so much about the way I sleep with this app. It tells you what's good about your sleep, what's bad about your sleep, and then what you can do better. But it's not just that. Here in the UK a couple of weeks ago, we had a massive heat wave. Everyone in the house was like, oh my God, I need to buy 3 fans and point them all at me as I sleep. I literally pulled out my app, set my temperature lower, and I completely forgot. And it caters to everyone. You want to set this thing to -10 or +10 degrees, you can do that. If you're interested, then I would say there's very few better things you can invest in than your sleep. So if you hit the link in the description, I've got us a special discount code of $200 off if you use the code BOSS.